topic might make someone screw up on a face. But hear me out. Psychology doesn't deal with comfort, it deals with truth. So today, let's talk about some uncomfortable truths. With me today are my group members Latoya Facey, Taika Forrester, Kamal Morgan, and Malik Ferran. Alright, let's be honest. This topic might make some people shift in their seats, but that's exactly why we need to talk about it. Today, we're diving deep into the world of paraphilic disorders, the ones that make you go, wait. People do what now? And of course, we're not shying away from one of the most controversial and serious ones of them all, pedophilic disorder. But don't worry, you won't be hearing it all from me. I'm just here to get you intrigued. So let's unpack the taboo, challenge the stigma, and maybe even rethink what we thought we knew. And let's really get this started. If you think this was something, Latoya is about to flip the whole script. Bye.
Sure, Danielle. Thank you so much for that informative introduction. Today, I will be discussing symptoms relating to pedophilic disorder and paraphilic disorder. These symptoms are as categorized in the DSM-5. Symptoms of pedophilic disorder involves persistent, intense sexual urges, fantasies, or behaviors involving prepubescent children, ages 13 or younger, of both genders. It also includes recurring thoughts or compulsions related to child-focused sexual interest over or at least 6 months. Feelings of distress, guilt, or shame related to these urges. It involves difficulty controlling these urges, leading to attempts to act upon them. It causes impairments to daily life functions, relationships, or occupational responsibilities due to these consistent obsessive thoughts. Engaging in grooming behaviors such as manipulating or befriending children for inappropriate purposes. Lack of sexual interest in age-appropriate partners. Attempts to justify or minimize their urges, often rationalizing inappropriate behavior. Possible association with antisocial traits, including lack of empathy or disregard for consequences. Also, high levels of cognitive distortions related to children and sexual behaviors. Symptoms of paraphilic disorders involve recurring intense sexual interest outside the typical consensual adult interactions. The compulsive need to act upon these urges despite negative consequences. The inability to achieve sexual satisfaction through conventional means. Persons displaying these disorders find it difficult to restrain themselves in social interactions, occupational interactions, or even having legal difficulties due to the behaviors related to paraphilic urges. It also involves emotional distress or difficulty in relationships stemming from these paraphilic thoughts. Additionally, engagement in risky or illegal behaviors depending on the specific disorder. Symptoms of specific paraphilic disorders. Voyeuristic disorder. This is repeat sexual arousal from secretly watching others undress or engage in sexual activity. Exhibitionistic disorder. This is persistent urges to expose oneself to non-consenting individuals. Voyeuristic disorder. This is the arousal from touching or rubbing against unwilling persons. Sexual sadism disorder. This involves sexual gratification which derives from causing pain or suffering to others. Transvestic disorder. This involves sexual arousal which is linked to wearing clothing associated with the other gender. We often will hear the term cross-dressing. Sexual masochistic disorder is the desire for humiliation, pain, suffering, all during sexual encounters. Fetishistic disorder, which is the fixation on non-living objects or human body parts, not typically in a sexual activity. This could be examples of being sexually attracted to toes or fingers. And there we have it. Symptoms of both pedophilic disorder and paraphilic disorders. So now I will be turning things over to Tahika, and she will be taking you through the preventative measures. The mic is yours, Tahika. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Latoya. So there are 6 main ways in which we can prevent pedophilic and paraphilic disorders, and I'll be explaining a bit on each way. So the first way will be through early education. So parents, this is when you teach your children about good touch or bad touch, right? Also, encourage open communication between children and trusted adults, for example, a teacher or a guidance counselor or even their pastor. And lastly, educate teens and young adults on healthy sexual development and boundaries. The second way will be through parental supervision. So parents, please monitor your children's internet use, their social media and interactions with other adults. Also, be alert to signs of grooming or unusual behavior around your children. Third, mental health support. So you're going to provide counseling for individuals that are showing early signs of inappropriate thoughts or urges, and encourage people to seek help before acting on these harmful desires. Also, promote therapy programs that are focused on self-control and healthy relationships. Fourth, public awareness. Educate the community about paraphilic disorders and the importance of early intervention. Also, reduce the stigma so that people can feel safe to ask for help. The fifth way will be through laws and policies. So enforce strict background checks for anyone that will be working with children, and develop policies in schools, churches, and youth programs in order to protect our children. The sixth and final way to prevent paraphilic and pedophilic disorders will be through professional training. So you should train teachers, counselors, and social workers to recognize warning signs and respond appropriately, and equip law enforcement and healthcare workers with tools to manage and refer at-risk individuals. Guys, let's really be honest with ourselves. I've been here talking away. But Kamal, save them from my rambling.
Okay, so thanks for that introduction, Taika. So as you guys have learned, some paraphilic disorders include voyeuristic disorder and pedophilia disorder. Now let's talk about how these and some other disorders can be treated. So first of all, a majority of patients rarely seek treatment voluntarily for paraphilic disorders. Patients in treatment or patients that are seeking treatment are often either legally mandated or they're convinced by their families or friends to seek treatment. Treatment options vary, and we must take into account the specific needs of each individual person and each individual case. Treatment options may include individual psychotherapy, group therapy, and medication. So as you can see, therapy and medication, these are basically the foundation for the treatment of paraphilic disorders. Even though this is so, there isn't an ultimate treatment plan that we have discovered for dealing with paraphilic disorders. Existing intervention merely allow for increased voluntary control through self-management skills over sexual arousal and reduction in a sexual drive, with best yielded prognosis only from those individuals who are actually motivated to change, those who do participate in either therapy alone or ideally the combined management of psychological and medicinal intervention show improvement with a marked reduction in the intensity and the frequency of deviant sexual arousal and resultant behavior. However, literature suggests that most sexual offenders are actually likely to reoffend. Inpatient treatment is usually recommended for individuals who are at a risk of harming themselves or others, or those people who are unable to take care of themselves due to the severity of their condition. In cases where individuals have been arrested or charged due to a crime that is related to paraphilic disorders, they may be placed in a correctional facility instead of a treatment center. Okay, thank you guys for listening. And now I'll hand you over to Malik because I'm sure he has a lot to say on the next topic.
It was Remain Virgo who sang the song, You dirty man, you dirty man, leave the people pitney them alone. Pedophile, dirty man, rapeable are all one and the same. This is someone who, for reasons I fail to comprehend, is attracted to a child, who is sexually attracted to the innocence, the purity, the untarnished essence of a child, one who finds pleasure in polluting what is pure, innocent, and untainted, one whose mind and body fail to understand the depravity of their desires, the utter devastation the fulfillment of their impulse produces, like a lion on the prowl for his next meal, seeking whose child he or she may next devour and destroy. The pedophile continues the cycle of destruction as they fail to overcome their struggle of the need to pollute what is pure, innocent, and untainted.
Yeah, we know that was a lot to take in. Paraphilic and pedophilic disorders aren't easy to talk about, but that's exactly why we had to do it. As we said at the start, psychology isn't about comfort, it's about truth. And sometimes the truth is hard. These disorders bring up some serious questions about mental health, personal responsibility, legal consequences, and how we as a society respond. But it's not about justifying harmful behavior. It's understanding the why behind it so we can protect those who are vulnerable and intervene before more harm is done. So if you made it to the end of this video, big up yourself. That means you're willing to engage with difficult conversations. Trust me, that's rare. Keep learning, keep asking questions, and most importantly, don't be afraid to challenge what society labels as untouchable, because that's how real change starts. Thank you for watching. Stay aware, stay informed. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.